Good evening, everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome to Boss FM Evening News. You're hanging with Alex Coltrane.
And Skylar Rowe, we're here to bring you the dopest and hottest news, so stay tuned.
Wake the streets up. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Wake the streets up. Okay. Come on. Okay. Wake the streets up. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Wake the streets up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
After deciding to opt out of playing the national anthem, Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban stated during an appearance on ESPN that his organization has no problem playing the anthem at all, and that the decision to not do so to this point in the season was a product of ongoing conversations with members of the community who felt the tradition did not fully represent them. Cuban on Tuesday had told ESPN that he had made the decision to stop playing the national anthem before home games after consulting with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. The NBA's rule book requires players to stand during the national anthem, but Silver has declined to enforce that rule, particularly as kneeling during the anthem became a way to protest social injustice in recent years. The vast majority of NBA players and many coaches kneeled during the national anthem during the NBA's restart last summer in Orlando, Florida. The league incorporated messages supporting Black Lives Matter movements and other social justice causes in the court's designs and players' jerseys. Now, Alex, I don't know about you, but I simply kind of don't really like the idea of them not taking it away. I actually want them to take it away.
You don't think it should be a choice?
It definitely should be a choice, and it definitely should be something that's considered. But with everything going on right now, I just simply feel like that was the spark of kind of where we are today, you know?
Definitely. Okay, hold on to that. We will circle back to that later. But in other news, Larry Flynt, a ninth grade dropout who built a $400 million empire of raunchy publications, strip clubs, and adult shops around his sexually explicit magazine Hustler, and spent decades battling obscenity and libel charges as a self-promoting champion of the freedom of the press, died on Wednesday at his home in Los Angeles. He was 78. The cause of death was heart failure, according to his brother Jimmy Flynt. Starting with its first issue in July of 1974, Hustler claimed a monthly circulation of 3 million in the mid-1970s. In addition to his wife and brother, Larry Flynt is survived by his children, TJ, Teresa, Tanya, and Larry Flynt Jr., as well as many, many grandchildren. This is kind of one of those names that flies under the radar in terms of, being an A-list celebrity or not, but definitely large and relevant to, I guess, the course of pop culture in the United States. That's big news right there.
That is. I just send my prayers, my condolences to his family.
Definitely.
That's very sad. But Kevin Hart's personal shopper, Long Island City resident Dylan Sire, was arraigned in New York Wednesday on charges including grand larceny. Sire allegedly used credit cards belonging to Hart, who was 41 years old, to fund a lavish lifestyle that included Patek Philippe watches, Louis Vuitton bags, and a Sam Friedman painting. The alleged charges total close up to $1.2 million over the course of 2 years, and he is back in court on February 14th and faces up to 25 years in prison if convicted. Now, it seems like these celebrities, that is a lot of years, but it seems like these celebrities need to do a little background research on these people that they're hiring, okay? Because this isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah, I'm not quite in the arena to hire a personal shopper, but I feel like that would be, at least if I'm giving him access to my credit cards and whatnot, you would think, you're going to be a little more strict on the hiring process. I don't know. Maybe he knew the guy. I'm not sure of the whole story, but definitely be careful. Anyone who gives anyone access to their bank information, be careful. In other news, Biden gets a 62% approval in CNBC economic survey, topping the first ratings of the last 4 presidents. A special online edition of the CNBC All-America Economic Survey, focusing on the Biden agenda, finds his approval rating at a sky-high 62%, beating the first presidential ratings of Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump. In fact, Biden's initial rating is 18 points higher than Trump's was. The survey of 1,000 people conducted earlier this month sees Biden with majority approval for his handling of the economy and for uniting the country. Sky, how do you feel about this?
I feel like this is something that was supposed to happen. I mean, everybody was tired of Trump, and he's out, and I just feel like Biden has kind of done what he said he was going to do. I mean, it's still kind of early to tell, but I mean, this seems pretty accurate to me.
Definitely early to tell. I think, like you said, everyone was ready to hop off the Trump train. So in turn, I think that's giving Biden a slight boost. But we will see. It's the early stages, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yes. But also, in other news, Dave Chappelle reveals that the Chappelle Show will return to Netflix following the fan boycott of the show. About 3 months ago, Chappelle asked fans to boycott his show on Netflix after he revealed that he was not being paid for his show or for his name. He revealed that the show is set to return today, February 12th, and Comedy Central has finally paid him for his time and his effort. He shared his gratitude towards his fans in a 10-minute performance posted to Instagram. Congratulations, Chappelle. You've been in the game for a long time. You should have been had his coins back in the day. This is
Kind of
long
ridiculous.
overdue.
Yeah, way overdue. But congrats, we all get to jam out the
Congratulations
Chappelle
to him.
Show on Netflix. That's exciting. But while we're on the topic of Black news, I want to circle back to what we were speaking on in terms of the national anthem for today's segment. On Black Friday, we're going to touch on the relevance of the national anthem in today's world of sports. So, with that being said, how do you feel, Sky, when athletes, specifically Black athletes, want to protest the goings on of politics in America and police brutality, and they would like to kneel for the national anthem or opt out of playing it entirely, when it is technically in their contract and required to be played and required to stand for? How do you feel about that?
Hmm. Now, I'm a little iffy on this topic because I simply feel like, yes, it is in your contract, but also, what if you really listen to the lyrics that they're singing in the national anthem, and it's nothing, it doesn't compare to what's going on in everyday life right now. This is not the
Sure.
land of the free. This is not the land of the brave. People are scared. People are not free. So I
I
feel
don't think
like
it applied when it was written either.
exactly. So I just simply feel like these athletes, specifically Black athletes who are taking the time to use their platform to show, their political beliefs and everything like that, I really do applaud them for that because it's a lot. As you see, Kaepernick, he got fined, he went down, he got blacklisted. So, like, with that being said, I just simply feel like it has to be a compromise on both ends. Like, you can't sit up here and shout this, but this is also not the land of that. So
I was just going to say, yeah, we all saw what happened to Colin Kaepernick in the wake of standing up for what he believed in. Obviously, the NFL and the NBA are a little different in how they handle, you know, silent protests or just even.
mhm.
I feel like even when we saw the NBA players wearing the "I Can't Breathe" shirts a few years ago, I feel like the response from the organizations were a little different. But also, I do feel like the NBA slightly has an edge on how much revenue they create from Black athletes compared to the NFL,
Definitely.
especially in
Definitely. And
terms of the
that's
owners.
also something that I wanted to touch on too. Because if you think about what happened when Trayvon Martin got killed, you remember LeBron and his team, they came out with hoodies and Skittles. So
Mhm.
I just feel like NBA allows their players to have that just freedom to just express themselves, whereas in the NFL they don't. And I just don't
So
understand why,
I
because
was
it's
gonna
also
say
a Black sport.
I think it's important that we see this freedom and flexibility with the national anthem, especially when, regardless of morally where the owners of the organization stand on it, where what is profitable for those organizations, when they know predominantly what makes their money and their athletes are Black men. So I think that's important to recognize whether or not they actually have a stance on it. But as far as where their organization should stand, being funded primarily by Black men in America, you kind of need to have an open stance on what they feel is social injustice and how they feel about the way that they are being treated or their counterparts are being treated in the United States of America. I think that's very important to be sensitive to and to pay attention to, because what is your organization without them?
I completely agree with that statement.
So we will see how this whole national anthem ordeal plays out in the long run. Obviously, right now they want everyone to play it and to stand for it. Obviously it's not being super strictly enforced. I think that's a smart play on their part, but we'll see. I don't know. I feel like maybe not in the coming months or in the near future, but I think over time it's definitely going to be a thing that's removed from the games, and maybe even in turn from schools and certain things like that in the future. I don't know. We'll see.
Now, you did say that it would be removed. What do you think they're going to replace it with?
I don't know. I mean, maybe nothing. Maybe they'll just, obviously they're gonna have some kind of like pre-game little ritual that they do, but it might be on a team-to-team basis. Like I said, I don't see it being removed anytime in the near future. But I think the way that things are going, people are just fed up, and especially when the people that are fed up are the ones that are supplying you with, your source of revenue. I think you can't really turn a blind eye to that for so long when people decide that enough is enough. So they're going to have to adjust accordingly, regardless of what goes down. Something is going to have to give in order for, the turmoil to cease. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
All right, you guys, that is it for your Friday evening news. Make sure to tune in Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. for more news updates. And don't forget to tune in Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. with Christian and Megan for some more entertainment news with Boss FM.
If you guys would like to rewatch our show, as always, it will be available full replay on the Boss FM app or on all of our socials. So don't forget to check us out. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Alex Coltrane.
And I'm Skylar Rowe. Have a great night.